Hello guys and welcome. So in this video I wanted to answer the question, what is Final Fantasy XIII? This video is aimed at people who know nothing about Final Fantasy XIII and have always been curious. Hopefully it will serve as a good starter guide for you. So Final Fantasy XIII is a science fiction role-playing video game that was developed and published by Square Enix for PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and later for Windows. Initially it came out in Japan in December 2009 and worldwide in March 2010. It is the 13th title in the mainline Final Fantasy series, obviously, because of the name, and the game includes fast-paced combat, a new system for the series for determining which abilities are developed for the characters called Crystarium, and a customizable paradigm system to control which abilities are used by the characters. The paradigm system is like a class type system. The Final Fantasy XIII includes elements from previous games in the series, such as summoned monsters, chocobos, and airships. The game takes place in the fictional floating world of Cocoon, whose government, the Sanctum, is ordering a purge of civilians who have supposedly come into contact with Pulse, the much-feared world below. The former soldier Lightning begins her fight against the government in order to save her sister, who has been branded as an unwilling servant to a godlike being from Pulse, making her an enemy of Cocoon. Lightning is soon joined by a band of allies, and together the group also become marked by the same Pulse creature. They rally against the Sanctum while trying to discover their assigned task and whether they can avoid being turned into monsters or crystals at the completion. So what I'm going to do is, guys, as part of the What Is series, I'm going to link to as many useful resources in the description down below, including to this trailer, to the Wikipedia page, to the official website, and so on. Now, this is a turn-based RPG. I believe it's one of the last. So, because after that, 15 is not turn-based, 7 Remake is not turn-based. So I think hopefully at this point Square Enix have moved away from turn-based for the mainline Final Fantasy series, though World of Final Fantasy was also turn-based as well. So now I actually found this game the story was very interesting, but the whole thing about the l'Cie, the fal'Cie, Pulse, Cocoon, like all the terminology, I found it very confusing at the very beginning. So, and I still do. I still make mistakes. But other than that, it's a great game to play. It's really, really fun. The paradigm system, the class system, is really fun to work out, especially when you're farming towards the end game as well, and you're trying to do these sort of really hard monsters. It can be very much a challenge to try and be able to take them down and take them down quickly. But it's something that I was able to get into quite easily in the end. And because this game is more than 10 years old, there's obviously countless guides online as well. They also have a stagger system, like we've seen recently in Final Fantasy VII Remake, except while the monster is staggered, the more damage you do, the more damage they take. Simple as that. You see the percentage in the top right of the screen. So now, Final Fantasy XIII then did have two consequent sequels. So there was 13-2, and then there was Lightning Returns. I personally haven't played 13-2 or Lightning Returns yet, but I'm intending to. Now, all of the games are out on Steam, so you don't have to get them on PlayStation or Xbox if you don't want to. You can just get them on PC. But know that the PC requirements for quite an old game are quite high. That's the thing. But it's also because the game looks absolutely beautiful. Like, it does include literally 8K textures and stuff like that for the PC release. And the characters are also very interesting. You know, I really like the world. So now, some people at the time, or even probably till today, complained that the game was too linear. So simply, it was like a beautiful corridor from beginning to end. It only opened up into an open world towards the end of the game. And I personally didn't see a big problem with that, because simply, and what the developer's excuse was that it is supposed to represent the lack of choices that the characters had along the way, along the journey. But I personally just think it's a simple case of limitations of the hardware. Simple as that. So, like PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, obviously they're not exactly weak, but they weren't exactly as powerful as PlayStation 4 or Xbox One. So they couldn't make everything a big open world. But at the same time, not every single game has to be open world either. So I personally don't see that as a problem. So and the game is really tough. That was the thing. Like the first time I went through Final Fantasy XIII, like I did finish it, but I had a really hard time. So like it's not just a case of just click attack over and over again and you win. Like you do actually have to think about the paradigm system, make sure you have good classes, make sure you've leveled up enough with the Crystarium, and so on. So yeah. So guys, what we're going to do now, we're going to quickly visit the official website and we're going to see what's written on there. Okay, here's the official website. So, link in the description. It says, do you have the courage to face your destiny? In Final Fantasy XIII, players will embark on an awe-inspiring journey through the floating city world of Cocoon and the savage lower world of Pulse, countering a diverse band of would-be allies along the way, with seamless transitions between real-time gameplay and in-game cinematics, an evolved active time battle system offering a perfect harmony of spectacular action and strategy. This will be an adventure like any other. Simple as that. And then you have some nice screenshots and stuff like that as well. But then it takes you to another official website. So let's read what's written on here. So again, there's just an outline of the story and then some of the characters. So it says, long ago, powerful mechanical beings called the fal'Cie created the floating world of Cocoon, a utopia in which humans thrived and prospered under their rule. When fal'Cie from Grand Pulse, the feared lower world, are discovered in their midst, the Sanctum government of Cocoon orders a purge to banish anyone associated with them. As former Guardian Corp Soldier Lightning and her allies stand up against the government, they encounter the dreaded Pulse fal'Cie and are branded l'Cie, tools of the fal'Cie. So, according to legend, should a l'Cie fail to fulfill their duty, otherwise known as their focus, they turn into a Sief, a creature damned to wander the world, unliving and undying. Basically a zombie. Should they succeed, they're rewarded eternal life in a crystal stasis. As Pulse l'Cie, the heroes carry a heavy burden, but they continue to embrace hope for themselves and the future of Cocoon, and hope that miracles do come true. Fair enough. And you have a breakdown of each of the characters. Okay, so basically, guys, that's Final Fantasy XIII. Tell me what you think. Did you like Final Fantasy XIII when it first came out before? Like, what console did you originally play it on? Did you wait for the PC release? And it is actually apparently available now for iOS and Android as well in Japan as of April 10th, but I haven't heard anything about a Western release. So, yeah. And like I said, guys, my personal opinion is I don't think there's a big deal about how linear the game is initially, but I know that it did bother a lot of other people at the time. But of course, Square Enix have, I think, heard the players very clearly since then. So, and Final Fantasy XV, for example, was nearly completely open world as a result. So, yeah, like, we'll see how Final Fantasy just keeps developing over the years, and waiting for the ever-elusive Final Fantasy XVI to be announced. But I think for now, they're probably going to just focus on Final Fantasy VII Remake. So, yeah. And also as well, guys, like it is my intention to eventually play 13.2 and Lightning Returns as well, and also Final Fantasy X Part 2. I generally have skipped, moved away from the sequels to existing games. I tend to just take in the game, see the ending, and then just move on. But people have told me that 13.2 and Lightning Returns is very good. So I will definitely check them out at some point in the future. So yeah, so guys, like I said, tell me in those comments down below, what did you think of Final Fantasy XIII? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Like, even if you didn't like it compared to other Final Fantasy games, just did you like it generally? Just let me know your feelings in those comments down below. So anyway, guys, that's it for this video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up. You can watch a random video over there. You can watch the latest upload down there. Or you can click down here to subscribe. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.